Hello, welcome back. So it's been a while since I streamed. It's been like 4 months or whatever. This is actually not a stream; it's an offline stream. I tried to stream it. I tried three separate times, and my internet is not working, so it did not work out. So I'm gonna be doing it offline for this one. I'm gonna try to get it working so it's not crap, but we'll see how that goes. So today I'm gonna be working on a project that's not mine. It's actually Schooly B's, right? Marshall, right here. So it's called Ostrich DB. So it's a pretty cool project. He's been working on it for a little over a year, I think. And I contributed to it pretty early on. I think I did a stream on that. I don't remember exactly though. But yeah, recently he's asked me to help with it. So I've been adding some features and things like that. So I will put the link in the description. Keep looking over here like there's chat, but there's not. Yeah, so I'll put the link in the description and you can check it out. It's pretty cool. So it's like its own independent thing. There's no SQL, no JSON, nothing like that. Yeah, and there's a lot of different features to it. There's some AI stuff as well, which I might talk about, I might not. This might be on the shorter side since I wasted a lot of time trying to stream earlier. Um, Today, what I'm gonna work on is actually bindings. So I had it open from the stream. So bindings. So basically, you'll be able to interact with the database from a programming language. So this is actually written in Odin. I didn't say that. Odin is a pretty cool language, and it has this feature where you can export a function, right, as though it's a C function, and then you compile it to a shared object file, and then you can call it from another language as though it's C, right? So I actually have a main.c here. So if you compile this, right, you could call it. So it's not working yet. This is kind of like a template, and I'm gonna build a fun. But you can see this is how it works. You do this export, so it's like the syntax to show that. Export, link name, that's the name of the function that you're gonna call. And then this is the function if you're interacting with it from Odin, right? And you have to do this to get stuff that is outside, like in this operations file. Yeah, so basically the way it's gonna work is you'll call this init function, and you're gonna pass credentials to it. So the way ISHRTB works, you have a username and then a password that goes along with it, and that is used for decrypting the files and things like that. So you can only have one user right now, I think. Um, so we'll see how that works out. But yeah, so it'll be passed programmatically rather than at the command line, like how it is set up right now. Yeah, but then you'll call, ignore this one for now. We can call create collection, create cluster, and there'll be more, but this is just sort of the base to get it working. Um, yeah, so that is kind of the plan. So you'll call this, and then you'll exit, and that'll just clean stuff up, free some memory, things like that. And then you'll be able to call this from C and from Odin if you wanted to. We probably want native Odin bindings that use, don't use C strings and stuff, because that gets kind of annoying having to convert back and forth. Then there's allocations and things like that. So really this is kind of more for C, and then the other ones will be built on top of it. So it'll be compiled into a shared object, and then you can link with it in Python or in Odin, JavaScript, I think you can as well, and we'll make bindings for each language. Um, yeah, so let's just get into it. You can read through this. Like I said, it'll be in the description. And let's see, there's a lot of stuff that goes, a lot of stuff that's going to be built around this as well. So, let's see, there's going to be a query language. That's not really worked on right now. It's on hold, as you can see. Ostrich Lite. So this is going to be cool. It's basically a lightweight implementation that doesn't have the CLI. It's just the engine. And that'll be useful. I think the bindings will kind of be shifted over to this once it's finished. He hasn't been working on that very long. So yeah, 3 days ago. But I think he said that should be done this week. So hopefully. And I'll actually have this video. This will go out tonight. Normally I would upload it the day after, but I'm not gonna be doing that. So because I'm not streaming it. Yeah, so there's the website. I don't know, that is public. I don't want to show too much because some of it is private and it's supposed to be proprietary, so I want to be kind of careful what I show. Yeah, I think we'll just get into it though. So this is gonna be very helpful for a lot of things. Because we have some plans and stuff we're gonna build on top of this, and we need the bindings for that. So I don't know if he wants me to talk about it. So I won't. Just because I don't want to, I don't want to overstep or anything. Yeah. So let's just get into this. So init. So I've read through a lot of the code, but there's also a lot of it I haven't seen. So here's kind of, I found this is like the base area where things start, right? The main function, obviously. And it calls check if system config file exists. So I think we can reuse that mostly. There is an error that it'll print, but I think that's fine, right? We don't want some of the print statements. Like we don't need this, right? Because obviously, first of all, it's not a CLI, and second of all, that doesn't make sense. Um, for the user to see that when they're like running a program or whatever. Um, yeah, so we'll need to do a lot of this stuff, right? This as well, we don't want that. Um, we don't need this to display either. We don't need the version. We don't need this, right? So a lot of the printing stuff we don't need. So we need to call this. So like, I'm gonna have to extract some stuff away and then try to. We'll have one function that'll be like start CLI, and then another one that is start Vitals, right? And that will be this init. And then the CLI one is gonna call to a lot of the same code, but it's also gonna print stuff where it's necessary. Yeah, and then we have this. So this I think can mostly just be used. I don't think it prints anything that is like too big of a deal. And then in here, this is where we have the start DB engine. So this stuff is going to be a bit more complicated. Once we have that, though, I think that's most of what we'll need for the init, right? So it's just calling to these things. So this checks if it's initialized, and if it's not, then it does the first time account setup. So that's where you enter a username and password. We don't need that at all because we're always going to just pass the username and password, and it will just create it, or it won't, right? Or it'll already exist. And we don't want to prompt the user for any information. It'll pass programmatically, right? But you can see there's a lot of print statements in here that we don't want. So I need to figure out what's going to be abstracted away. So that's the plan. Hopefully I can get at least a base thing working, like an init and then a create collection. Like this should be pretty easy, I think. If I can get that working right now, then I will be quite happy with that. Yeah, it'll probably be like an hour stream or so. We'll see how it goes. So let's start here. So um I think we can print this out. Like I'm trying to think. Like I'm thinking squeal light. I always mess up squeal light 3 bindings. So I think when you call to this, or squeal light 3 from C, let's put that. No. C, right? There's ways to interface with it. I think it's written in C or C++ or whatever. Um, but I think like if a database doesn't exist, it prints stuff and things like that. So I think some of it's okay. It's just we don't want to print a lot of stuff and we don't want to read input from the user. That's the primary thing. Um, so I think it'll be okay to do that. Like if we have something like this. So I think we can reuse this. Encrypt collection, I don't think that prints anything, so we should be fine there. So basically up to this point, everything is fine. We don't want runtime event. So this can be, let's see. We can do, I think we need to save these here. Let's call like, I'll make a function within the main. I don't know, well, no, he probably doesn't want me to do that, right? It needs to be separate. I'll do it for now, and then I'll move it out later, right? Just to get started, because I'm not sure exactly how it's going to be tackled. So we want to call, right, a lot of it is using capital, but then he's also refactoring, so it doesn't all use that. So I'm going to use regular snake case with lowercase, and I think that's okay. It'll be easy to change, obviously, in the future, so it's not a big deal. Let's see. So this is like check config, right? Well, init config. We'll call it that. Yeah, I'll do it lowercase. Config. So these might print things. I'm not sure exactly. We kind of need those stuff. So those will be in the init config. I'll just make it here. So if you haven't seen Odin before, this is what the syntax looks like. I don't think you can do nested functions. Maybe you can, but I'm doing this and I'm gonna move it, right? Move it up. So this pretty much, I think, can just be moved right here. Right. And that'll be the same for both of them. Right. We'll do init config, and then this main will only be called from the CLI. This is like the CLI main, so we can leave it just like that. These, I'm not sure exactly. I don't know exactly what you do, but I'll look at that later. Log that, and then version. We don't need to do any of this stuff. This does, right? So all this needs to happen. And then this as well, without the print statement. So I'm trying to think how Like, so this can stay here. But if we just move this stuff, right, get record value. So I'm pretty sure this stuff doesn't print, but I'm not sure exactly. Let's move it up here. I'm gonna try. Might need to move things around. We'll see how it goes. The lighting, I don't know if it's too bright. I got a new light. Yeah, I can't adjust it, so if it is, that's how it is. But it was kind of dark before, so I am fine with it. I'd rather have it too bright than too dark, and you can't see. It doesn't really matter though. Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think here. So what could this be called? So this is like, let's see. So this is basically check if in it. Right. I think I'll rename that later, but we'll call it that for now. And we do want to call that from here. So check if init. And does it need variables passed? Why does it? Whoops. Yeah. Some extra indentation here. I don't think we need that. He writes the if else like this, so I think I'll leave it like that. You know, I don't want to change too much of the forward. I think we should have. I'll run this by him, but I think we should have a standard format, like Go has Go format. Right. But is there an Odin format? I feel like there is. How do you use it? Right. I'll talk to him on that. I think we should probably run that just so it's kind of standardized, easier to read, right? So I don't know. I don't know if all that's going to compile. I can go here. So there's a script for compiling. Okay, so it creates a lot of problems. Okay, system user. So does this need to be in all of them? That's kind of repetitive, but okay. And then it works. Yeah, I think fails. That's cool. See, that used to break stuff. I don't know if it still does. Okay, it looks good. So it looks like that's working. Right. So we should be able to just call these in. Like, I don't like this. I'm not sure how you get around that. I'll take a look at that in the future. But yeah, check if init, and then it does this. So I'm thinking, now if we have a function that's going to be called here, whoops, we can call it and call this one, and then we can call this one, and then we can just call start engine. And then that will have to be kind of reduced as well, but we'll get there. So this is ostrich dd init, and this is going to be in a different place, but I'm going to put it here for now, just because that will be easier for the moment. So init onboard, and then check if init, and then engine.start db engine, and there we go. I don't know what this means, but I'm going to do the same thing because I think that probably is important. I don't know what the point of that is. So there's no while loops, I don't think, in Odin. I think that there might be actually. Let me see. Odin documentation. Right, I know there's not in Go, and I don't know if it's the same. Let's look at overview. So is there a while loop? Okay, yeah, so there isn't one. So it's the same as Go, right? Or maybe I'm mixing them up. No, I don't think there is in Go. So that should be good. So start Osh's DB engine, and then if you just, I'm just gonna do this for now. So we want to import main. Is it not there? Main, yeah, just main, and then we'll do main.init. Let's go into source bindings. That's where it's at, and I think I can do Odin build. Right, so operations.exit does not exist. We'll just comment that out for now. Oh, ostrich EVA. Right, we don't really need that prefix, so I'll need to rename that. And it looks like that compiles. So we can't quite run it yet, but it does compile. And we could run it. It's gonna print stuff out, but let me try. Let's open the main.c, and we have this already, so I think we can just compile that. Actually, since it's linked to it, I think we can just run the existing one. Yeah, so it can't properly read the stuff, but it looks like it did work. And it still calls to, yeah, I can't read a lot of stuff. Okay. A lot of that is going to be unused. So let's try to get it cleaned up first without all the print statements, and then we'll get back to it. So we'll need to, this one actually is gonna, we need to figure out how we can pass the username. Right, so we're gonna have to make a separate one that takes the username and password, and then Yeah, so we're gonna have to modify some things. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, this is fine. This is where we do all this. So we'll look at that. Run user sign in, switch over that. Right, so run user sign in. Should we do that now? So that's in here. Run user sign in, which is right here. So this prints a lot of stuff. So that's kind of, I don't think we need to call that at all. We can just, whoops, use the keybind for that so I don't keep opening that on accident. Yeah, we don't need to enter that. We can just take some of the things here. So this is like find profile. I feel like we can just copy a lot of this because we don't have to print all of this. But we do need to call these, right? And if there's an error, we can just say error initializing or something like that. At least for now, just kind of copy it. We'll see how that goes. So maybe just right here, I'm going to make a, let's see, we'll need a separate one. I kind of want to just call it same one. Um, well, how would that work? That wouldn't really work, would it? Unless we had a thing. Yeah, I'll make a separate one. So we might want to rename this, and this can be start CLI engine, and then we can kind of start HTTP. But we'll do that later. So we'll just do start. We'll just call it that for now, and then we'll rename it in the future. So we do need to return int is the same, and then we'll update that in here. Let's start engine. So it's going to be separate, but it's going to call to a lot of the same things. So we need to call the security, and we want to do this is going to take a username and a password, and it will create it if it doesn't exist, and otherwise it will not. Let's see. So we'll need to pass it here. So we'll need username password string, and we pass that here. Right, I don't think there's any other information that we'll need to pass, because everything else gets generated. So that should be all right. And then we need to update the bind as well. So we need a username and password. It's going to be a C string. And then we can do this thing where we cast it. I don't think it allocates, so I think it's fine to do. It might be unsafe in certain situations. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, if it's an invalid C string. So we might want to wait to check that. We'll see how that goes. Because I haven't messed around with it too much. So cast to string username, cast to string password. So we'll do that for now. And that should all work, I believe. And then in here, yeah, so we want to do, let's see, for now we'll just call the same stuff. I'm going to just copy a lot of stuff, and then we can abstract it away later. And this was set in there. I'll just copy it all over for now. It's not too long, so it's not crazy. Not crazy to do. And then we'll just get rid of anything that is not necessary. So, handle first time account setup. Let's see, leave that for now. Handle first. That's gonna be the first thing called. So we want to look at that. So email is not in there. So where's it gonna be? Security access. Nope. I cannot spell it, but credentials. Yeah, handle first time account. Yeah, so we don't really want to do any of that same stuff. Except the logic, right? So we don't want to print stuff. So we salt. How does that happen? Username, so we'll have the username already. Right, I think this print stuff, how does this work? Create new username. Where is that defined at? Right here. Yeah, so this the input, and it returns a string, and then create new password. And that returns a string, but it's not used, so I don't know where the password comes from. I'm a little confused here. Huh. Right, so we do want to call all this stuff. So basically it's just the print lines that aren't. I'm trying to have as little repetition as possible. It's not really, it's not built in a way where it's going to be overhauled in the future, like I was showing with that Oshes DB light. Um, but for now, like we need it now, these bindings, and so we kind of have to work around it. So create new password. So I don't get like where is it? Where does it go? Where does the password go? Store method. Is it used in here? Confirms the password. We might skip the confirm step at least for now. Because that'll get kind of annoying to use. Yeah, so we'll skip that for now. So let's see. We need the salt. Where does that come from exactly? Right. Let's add it here. So this will be let's see. Window bindings setup. Turn an int, and we need to do this. I don't know what the buff is for. Let's see. What is generate user ID? That's not an input, right? Yeah, we can do that. There's a print statement. I think we can ignore it for now. So the username, we already have that. So we'll pass the username here because I think we use it. And I don't think we use the password though, so I don't know how that works. Let's go back to the engine. I'm not sure exactly. So it gets stored somewhere. Oh, I think it might get set with the user. So we're gonna have to copy some stuff from there. Yeah, so it hashes the password in here. Let's see, but we don't need the rest of that stuff. Right, we don't care about the store method. We do want this. Basically, the rest of it we can take. I don't think it looks like there's not many print statements. Right. Basically, we just want the logic without the print statements, right? So it's a lot of copy pasting, but I think we can extract some of it away. And we'll get there, right? It doesn't have to be perfect first try. And a lot of it's going to go away, like I said. So even if it's not perfect to start, it'll be okay. So let's see. So I'm gonna have to look at this password thing. So create user password. Confirm user password. So this, okay, so it confirms the password and then it sets it, right? Yeah. Okay, so we need to set all of this. Let's see. We're not going to do the confirm, right? So we'll just kind of skip straight to this. And I think that will be okay. I think this is fine to do. This should be okay. Let's try that. So after, right, generate the ID, and we'll call this. So again, this could be extracted away, but we'll just copy it for now. When of password, password, password. Okay, and that should work. Sorry if it was running water. So some problem. I'm gonna put username. Oh yeah, this is not usernames. I'll just change it to username. Wait, what? Right, store method. Store method. Where's that defined? Ooh. Oh, okay. So we do need this. So I thought this was a print statement, but it's not. So I can go after. Did I copy this? I think so. Yeah, okay. So we don't need to repeat this, obviously. We do want that. There we go. And if we compile it now, almost works. Read declaration. I think I accidentally copied that again. There we go. Same return statement. What does it return here? Return 0. All right, we can do that. basically we just want to print if. So we have that, and that should set that up if we pass. We'll just do like so we'll Cobb coding, and then we'll just do, so it doesn't validate the password right now. We'll just use password. And let's see, so we need, it's not how you do that. So that's basically what, that's basically the signature. So we'll need a header file as well to make this a proper library. So if we do this, and then we have to recompile this. I think we have this, so we can do that. That is not going to work, so we need to do, right, because I was doing it from a different directory. Bindings.o. Right, so we're linking with all that, and then we have to go here, and then that will be, that should, okay. It still calls that, so why does it do that? Am I calling something incorrect? Oh shoot, because we still call this. So instead we want to call handle binding setup. And we need to pass the username and password to that as well. We need to recompile the Odin. Why do they still call that? Line here. We'll print a lot of new lines. I just want to see if, like, I might be doing something wrong. Oh shoot, we can't call it out. That's not gonna work now. Okay. And let's see. Don't think it's getting here. I think this is fair. Actually, where is that? It might be in the same file. Yeah, okay. So it does have error messages, but okay, that's fine. We do call start bindings engine, yes. We call this, right, with those. That is correct. Turn, would be a turn there. Alright, let's just comment it out. Alright, it doesn't like that. I don't know if it's successfully compiled. No, it says error, so it didn't. We can run this again. And it doesn't do anything. Okay. So it is calling that. Because now when we do it, and it, no, wait, what? Am I missing something? Right, because the out is, what? Let me run the GCC again. Okay. Okay, there we go. I think I might have messed something up. But yeah, so now this is failing, but it's not trying to run. So that is what's expected, really. Let's comment that again, and we'll rebuild, oops, rebuild the Odin. That should be all we have to rebuild. Might be missing something. Failed to read the file for encryption. So that's the config file. So the config is not working. Check if it exists. Let's see. How much did it print out? It prints out a lot of stuff. Let's see. We'll do that. Oh, that's not activity. I forget how it. Okay. It doesn't let us do that because it says that is not called. I'm trying to think. Like, oh, I wonder if this is calling stuff. If I comment these out. Right, it does change stuff. Okay, let's try. So it doesn't say config file not found. It just says cannot read file. Where is this in metadata? So it's calling that. It's just the same one every time. 59. Where's the top? It goes for a while. Yeah, there is different ones though. Dot slash out. So the first one is this metadata, append metadata, header to collection. Right. Let's go here. Right. Where is it called? In collections. Why are we calling that? I'm a little confused here. Let's just db init. That's what we're calling. Just let me do something like this. Okay, there we go. So then we can do format tracking. Well, I just want to make sure hitting keyboard. Yeah, I don't want to make sure that's what we're calling. I don't need to. Wait, then we have to. Oh, let's stop. There we go. Okay, and then we can run the GCC. Okay, so it does go there, and then we'll call init config, right? And we'll see if that's where it fails. Right, we kind of work our way down. That's not right. Yeah. So we do have to be compiling that every time. Okay, so this is where it's giving all these error messages. So I can't read that. Let's figure out where that's at exactly. Check if, I'm assuming it's this, right? Config, which is at the end here. That is not right. Wait, oh, it's right there. So it tries to open this, and does it fail there? It doesn't check if there's an error, does it? Right, so this is error, I believe. And it's not used. If E is not equal nil, then line could not open config file. Something like that. Bang. Okay. I saved it. So I feel like, oh, but then we should go inside exit as well. Oops. Okay, so it doesn't seem that that is happening. So let's see. Is it trying to read the directory? Oh wait, cannot read directory. Is that what it says? No, cannot read file is what we get. Where is this error at? Cannot read file. Oops, that's actually not going to work correct. Oops. Cannot read file. Where's that one? So I want to look in config. I don't see any there. So where? What is it calling to here? Get color location. Right. That is not the issue. So this is like the area. So I think it might be after this. Oh, it's not. Huh. So it isn't after that. Oh, you know, it's probably in those, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So it is in these. So data, no, so here's data. Where to be a main just at the top of any of these? Main, there we go. All right, so this is where it's being called. So it tries to make the directory, and this fails. I guess we could narrow down exactly which one it is if you do this. Right, so is it data? So it's kind of debugging because I don't know exactly how it works. Okay, so it appears to be in data. So we'll just go with that. So that is this. So it's here. So where here is it? I think it might be the metadata, actually. That would make sense. Right. For some reason, it's failing to be able to find. Yeah, metadata. So that's calling it all. create FFD file. So metadata. I think there's only one metadata. So create. Yeah, there's like a lot of stuff that has to call to set up. So this is gonna be probably the hardest part. Once we get the init set up properly, then I think the rest of it will be pretty easy from there. Um, let's see. Get version, make directory, temp path, create success. Cannot create file. So that is what it is failing on. Cannot read file. No, it's failing on. Okay. I'm gonna do a clear here and we'll run this. All right. Create. So this is where it's failing right now. Cannot create FFB file. So cannot create and then cannot write to. Well, it should exit when it does this though. So it can't create the file. Can we print the path and name? Figure out why, because it does it normally, right? So it's just a specific problem with calling to bits. Okay, we have to go up a little now, because here. So dot slash. Do I have to make a? It looks like that might have been it. Okay, so it creates a lot of stuff now. Okay, so we have to. Why do we have to do that? Because it should. Oh wait, does the setup script local build run? So it makes this. Right. I think we can move on with that for now, and I need to figure out why it can't make this directly. But we do create open now. So if we go back here, it still prints a lot of things that we don't really want to print. Let's see, and where are we printing that out? I forgot now. I'm a little lost. Let's go, because I had to go through a lot of stuff there. So where do we print this path at? Username. Yes, we don't actually run this right now. Forgot which one it was in. No. I need to go through and see. Just like print name. Yeah, that's not in here either. That's fine. Alright, this is all fine. I don't remember where I printed this name at. What the heck? I didn't close any. Let's see, where's it going to be? So it's the temp file? Maybe it just prints that regularly, because I don't see the print stuff. I don't know. Hopefully it didn't mess anything up, but we'll see. So type assertion. So this is causing some issues. I'm not sure what that's from exactly. But let's see. So what are we calling now? So here, let's make sure. Right, that's only initializing the config still. So that's still all we're doing. Invalid type assertion on some of the hash stuff. Oh, I wonder why that is. Whoops, that is not what I wanted. But let's do this if true thing. That's quite useful. Right, and then we can kind of step through the code. So we'll do Odin, succeed. Okay. So it is right here in this. Oh, it could be in the utils, I guess. It's helpful to work through it. Work backwards through it. Seems to be. Utils or data. Data. Okay. So still in here. I don't think it's gonna be in that one. Yeah. Oh, definitely I recompiled the GC6. That could have been the problem. Okay, yeah, so it is past here, and I think it's gonna be on that one. Okay, and then if you do this, then it fails, right? Yes. Okay, so we know where it is. It's in this. Create and fill. Where is that at? Yeah. Collections. Wait, what? Oh, that's the column. IDs. Yeah, IDs dot Odin. See, create and fill. This is a big, no, it's not too big, but it does call to a lot of things. So what is it failing on? Something to do with encryption, I believe. Let's go here. It might actually have broken things. Let me new. Like, I wonder if stopping at certain points breaks stuff. Will we compile everything just in case? Yeah, okay. So we go here. Where is the? I don't have anything. If true, then oh, stop. Exit. Yeah. Just copy that. There we go. So it is before this. I want to figure out where it is. So put it be in generate ID. What function does it say? It says low level. Yeah, it's something about hashing. Really could be in any of them. Let's just go to a kind of random point. Then what if we move up here? Might be generate ID. Well, we call that. Ah, but we don't get to that, do we? Yeah, so I feel like it could be that one. Of course, every single function we call has a different problem, so that's awesome. Great collection, is that what it is? Nope. That's not okay. Okay, so it is in create collection. Interesting. And create collection is in here, right? Yeah. Okay. Column type. What is it? System ID private. That's where we're at. ID private and which one? Append that. Right. I wonder which one it is gonna be. We can step through again. Okay, not there. I feel like it's gonna be something to do with metadata, but that could be wrong. Okay. Got a good thing going here, stepping through it. Alright, so it wasn't in those. That's kind of surprising. So if we skip this, it's probably gonna be this one. It's not, then I'll be really confused on this. Yeah, so now it should throw the error, right? There we go. Okay, so it is in init metadata in new collection. So we have metadata open, so metadata, alright, assign specific value. So something in here is not right. Let's see, so encryption state, I feel like it's the encryption state one that is causing the issue. Oh wait, it just prints things? Oh, wait, what? Let's see, so it has something to do, invalid type assertion, something to do with a union. Where is this called? Isn't that where it's at? Wait, I am confused. Oh shoot, it's in the Odin files. So is crypto in here? But it's not used. Oh, is hash used? Hash, okay. Is it used in the Huh, it doesn't look like it. Oh, but is this called? Let's see what which one are we on? It could be any of these, I guess. Generate checksum. Is that it? Do you think? Like it's one of these. We could try this. So if true, say one. Just trying to get through without errors. Okay, so it's after these. So I'm assuming it's gonna be could be file format version. I don't know if we can do this. Like it's gonna break other things, but get a different message than this. Okay, so it doesn't seem to be this one. I feel like it's generate checksum, so we'll look at that. That I think makes sense. We do that, and then if we put it after this, no. Okay, so it's not that. Is it any of these? The imitation is here, so. Okay, so it's after that? I'm confused now. Where is it? There's bubbles. Um, shouldn't I join? Is it in right entire file? It's in the OS package. Huh. Wait, do I have some guards still in place? No. Wait, what? What? Sign explicit integrated value. That's what's called here. I am very confused now, because what? And is it? GCC. Okay, so it's checksum. Oh shoot, that actually makes a lot of sense because we're exiting. Okay, I'm stupid. All right, so it is the checksum. So generate checksum is available. That is here. Okay, so we can see where it's at in here. Let's see. So there's hash stuff. So that's what it's gonna be. So I think it's probably hash string that fails. So if we start here, I really don't want to mess up the code. I'll accidentally do something that messes things up. So I'm trying to be careful of that. Right. So it should fail here if I am correct. Okay. So why does this fail? Why does that fail? Ooh, what is the actual content? Is there some permission issue with the file, perhaps? Okay, so it's nothing. Um, is that a problem? I go here. Oh, it fails. So I did break something. That's cool. How though? I don't think I did anything that should really interfere with that. Well, I guess I do stop this here. Okay. So that does interfere. That makes sense. But if I do this, it should work. Okay. So that does work. And it does print all of these out. So it's supposed to look like this, but it does not. What if I use the bin and then run this, and I'm gonna set up a local account. Well, now you know what the password is. You have to enter the username twice? I don't remember that. Okay. Prints out a lot of stuff, and then there's that. So really this is what it's supposed to print. But it doesn't print any of that. And it prints a lot of stuff here. So it's not setting it up properly. I'm a little confused. Right, because we went through the same steps. Let's walk back through. So init config. This is we're still failing on this. So check if config file exists. And that's where it's failing. So we go there, and the config is here. And what are we calling here? No, wait, is that what it was failing? No, it's in data, actually. So it's actually this that is failing. But only in that one. So there's nothing else past here. Right, version. Right, I don't think any of that is relevant, really. So what causes the issue here? Data, is this where it main is? Yeah. So main, create this. Ooh, this is a lot of this stuff I haven't looked at yet in the file or in the project. Makes the directories. It did make them correctly, right? Yeah, so all of those exist. Private. Sorry if there's running water. I don't know if you can hear. I have IDs, and that looks right actually. Let's see what actually before I forget. Um, total size. Let's see. No, that's not what I'm looking for. So it's in this create and fill private ID collection. And calling create collection. Where is that create collection at? That's some collection is in credentials. Is that right? No. Okay, that was not the definition. Let's do this. Well, these are collections. What let's do? Oh, oh, shoot, I was in the wrong one. Okay, that's why. So then we go here, and it's in this one. I'm trying to walk through it again and see if I can. Which one? System ID private, right? And then this init metadata, which is here. So something along the way gets thrown off. So it does create the file successfully here. It's been almost an hour and very little progress, but that's okay. Let's see what the collection path is. Okay, so that's right. And then if we go here and run it, we aren't going to see it actually because it already exists, right? Oh no, we do see it. Interesting. So it creates it a bit differently. Let's see. Is this fit? I'm just confused. Like, I don't know what the difference is. Because the password's not strong enough? Password 2. That, something like that. Like, I don't think it checks it again, so I don't think that's where the issue is going to be. But we'll try that, just so it's, like, more consistent, I guess. Oh, you know, does it have to be uppercase, actually? None of that is... I don't think so. No. Right, so this is case sensitive, so... Let's just do units. Man, I am confused, because it does all the same things. What are we not doing? We don't have to be using these, because that doesn't make a difference. Because it's in here. Mm, I don't know. Like, it works here. I'm trying to figure out what the difference is exactly. So this is the entry point. I am quite sure of that. So, man, I'm just confused why it would fail. What's the difference? I'm probably missing something super obvious, which is going to be really annoying. Mm, file name? Is the file name wrong? Right. We were just printing the file path, the collection path. So if that's not working, that could be an issue. Right. So that's what it is. But then here we'll remove the bin again, and then we'll just run this. So we'll leave like this for now. What did it print? Yeah, so it's, why is it different? Why does it become like appended with the dot ostrich db, like right here? Actually, is that something to do with, let me go through how this works. So these are for some of the NLP stuff, which I talked about. Creates the bin directory, moves that in there, moves that into there, and then it runs it from there. It shouldn't really change anything. Oh, do I have to do this actually? Right, because it's doing that from there. What if I do that with this? Shoot, wait, that did it? No, that did fix this though, but oh shoot. Okay, so that makes it able to do these things. That's why it wasn't working. Okay, this could be good. That fixed at least some things, kind of. Let me remove some of the checks we have. So where is this? Where is this at? What is here? Let me see. I need to get back to where it was at. Oh yeah, we didn't think. So right up here, and then we print. We have a check here. General check sum. Let's get rid of this. All right, so it's at least somewhat better, right? I mean, kind of not really, because it's the same error, but it makes the files the same as the existing ones. So that's what we want there. Same. Yes, we have, that's just the version. That's not a big deal. Still, why is actual content nothing? This, so dot private. Because that is that. And then if we go here, oops, I'm not, hang on. There we go. Bin private. So we have this. And then it creates these. Right. I thought this was all encrypted, but I guess not. He was messing around with some of that stuff. So yeah, because it skips the metadata, but then there's nothing there. But why is there nothing there? What is the reason for that? Why is there nothing there at this point? When there is in the other branch, right? And it's the same stuff. Now the paths are the same. We run this and we print file name and then the actual data or actual content. So that actually prints stuff there. So we'll do this first. Edit there and there. Right, and then if we call this one, yeah, and this is the actual content. So why does that not get created? I'm confused. Right, I get the whole metadata in thing. Why doesn't it work? Where's it supposed to create it actually? Let's go here. Member value. So I don't think that's really it. Init metadata in new. Right, so there's the new collection. And then let me get rid of the print statements because I want to forget about that. Init metadata. Encryption state. Right, but this is like the metadata stuff. And the so when does it get filled, right? Pause. Private ID collection. Right, but then it calls create collection first. And that's where this is. What? I'm trying to figure out like why is it different? Why is it different? So something else in this script. Let's try just building this. Odin build name. What is it? How's the command look? Define name equals true. And then we have this new domain.bin to bin. And doesn't print anything. Config file not found. Okay. Right, so domain.bin to here and move that. We'll move not bin into bin. We also need to copy paste also LP and LP dot. So just for it to actually run. Yeah, and it's confirm that down. So it's something like it's a different error, but there's also something else in it. Like here, yeah, it doesn't print it anymore, but it finds the config file. So is there something else? Like I didn't write the scripts, right? These are all him. Move existing. Right, this is all pretty much irrelevant to what we're doing here. So let's go to the root directory, build main, and if it was successful, we say build successful, make the bin directory, and then we'll move the library to there, and then if that, then we enter Bing, and then we run it. Get the exit code. What? So that's all fine, right? So I don't know why it's different. Like, obviously we're calling it different, because it's not like the entry point anymore. But I don't think that matters. I wonder how it works if we change this default main.main, right? Call the main, and then we rebuild it. GCC, and we run main. Whoops, I mean we run out. It still fails. Okay, so it fails all the same. So it's something to do with how it's being called, like the state of it. Man, I am confused. I might have to go soon and work on it off video, right? Offline. And I didn't really make any progress, unfortunately. So probably kind of a boring video, just kind of reading through the code. But yeah, I gotta go. So I'll work on it more tonight, probably. This video will go up tonight. And I'm gonna try to stream tomorrow. I'm gonna try to do a stream tomorrow. Hopefully, it works out. I'll do it earlier in the day, and the internet's usually better at that point. So we'll see how it goes. If not, I might do another offline one, just like this. But yeah, sorry if I haven't been streaming in a while. My internet has been crap, okay? Completely unusable. Like, it goes out every few minutes, completely goes out, just for a second though. And that makes streaming literally impossible because it goes out. And there's so much buffering and things like that. So, like, the speed is fine, but everything else is not. Yeah, so that's my apology. My apologies. I'll try to do videos every day. I'll be working on this pretty much every day, so I can at least do videos of this. I want to do some other stuff too, but we'll see. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.